In 1993, a young actress walked onto the Family Matters set and did something nobody else had managed to do. She made America believe that someone could genuinely love Steve Urkel.
Everyone is staring at me.
Why, of course. They've never seen such stunning beauty.
Not tolerate him, not pity him, but truly see past the suspenders and snorting laugh to find something worth loving.
And always remember that you were loved by Myra Monkhouse.
Michelle Thomas was only 25 when she became Myra Monkhouse, yet she already understood something most people spend a lifetime trying to grasp: how to find beauty where others couldn't see it. That gift became her trademark, shaping the roles she played and the connections she built beyond the screen. It carried her through moments of triumph and unimaginable pain, even as she faced an illness that would claim her life far too soon. At just 30 years old, Michelle Thomas left behind a legacy that proved one truth: seeing the extraordinary in the ordinary is the rarest kind of genius. Michelle Thomas could have taken the easy path. By 1984, the 15-year-old from Montclair, New Jersey, had already conquered the pageant world. She'd won Hal Jackson's Talented Teen New Jersey, then traveled to Montego Bay, Jamaica, to claim the Miss Talented Teen International crown. With her striking features and natural poise, modeling agencies were calling. The pageant circuit wanted to keep her, but Michelle had inherited something more valuable than good looks from her parents. Her father, Dennis Thomas, played saxophone and flute for Kool and the Gang. He'd spent years crafting melodies that made people feel something real. Her mother, Finjuar, had built her own career on stage before becoming Michelle's acting coach. They understood that entertainment wasn't about being seen, it was about making others feel seen. This philosophy would become Michelle's compass. The pageant victories had taught Michelle about performance, but she wanted depth. She wanted to tell stories. While other teenage pageant winners were chasing modeling contracts in New York, Michelle was studying scenes, working with her mother on character development, preparing for something bigger. She graduated from West Essex High School in 1987 with her sights set firmly on acting. The path from pageant queen to serious actress rarely works. Hollywood is full of beauty contest winners who never moved beyond their crowns. But Michelle understood something crucial. The same warmth that once won over pageant judges could become the emotional core of her performances. She cared less about being admired and more about being genuine, fully present in every moment. Within a year, that presence would land her in front of millions of Americans. But first, she had to prove that a pageant queen could act. The Cosby Show was holding auditions for a new character, Theo Huxtable's girlfriend. It was a role that demanded more than pretty. It required someone who could hold their own against an established cast, someone who could be both innocent and knowing, someone who could make America believe in young love without making it saccharine. Michelle walked into that audition as a 20-year-old with minimal credits. The casting directors saw something beyond her pageant past. They saw Justine Phillips. The Cosby Show, set in 1988, operated like a well-oiled machine in its final seasons. The Huxtables had become America's family, and any new addition faced enormous pressure. Michelle Thomas stepped into this world as Justine Phillips, Theo's girlfriend, and immediately proved she belonged. Her first scenes required a delicate balance. Justine needed to be sweet without being cloying, independent while still complementing Theo's character arc. Michelle brought a naturalness that made Justine feel like she'd always been part of the Huxtable universe. Audiences embraced her immediately. Behind the cameras, something else was developing. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, who played Theo, found himself drawn to the young actress playing his girlfriend. Their on-screen chemistry wasn't manufactured. As they performed scenes about young love, they were discovering it themselves. The relationship that bloomed was both public and private. America watched Theo and Justine navigate teenage romance, while Malcolm and Michelle were living their own version off-screen. They became one of young Hollywood's most watched couples, their real affection adding layers to their televised relationship. Michelle's 2 years on The Cosby Show from 1988 to 1990 proved she was more than a former pageant winner chasing an acting dream. She held her own alongside experienced performers and brought an easy authenticity to every scene. Her dedication and focus made her stand out among a cast already known for its polish. Justine Phillips may have been written as Theo's girlfriend, but Michelle turned her into a fully developed character with her own charm and presence. When her run on The Cosby Show ended, Michelle faced the challenge every supporting player knows. How do you follow one of television's biggest hits? How do you avoid being forever frozen as one character? For some actors, playing a beloved role on a landmark show becomes a career ceiling. Michelle saw it as a foundation. The answer came in 1993 with an unexpected opportunity. Family Matters, the sitcom about the Winslow family and their peculiar neighbor, needed someone special. They needed an actress who could make the impossible believable, that someone could genuinely love Steve Urkel. Steve Urkel was never supposed to be a romantic lead. The character, with his suspenders and snorting laugh, was designed as comic relief. By 1993, Family Matters needed someone to see past the joke. They needed Michelle Thomas. Myra Monkhouse arrived on Family Matters as something unprecedented. A beautiful, intelligent girl who actually wanted Steve Urkel. Not the suave Stefan Urquell he sometimes transformed into. She wanted Steve, suspenders and all. Michelle played Myra without a trace of irony or condescension. She made the attraction genuine. This role could have been thankless. Playing straight woman to Jaleel White's outsized character might have reduced another actress to a prop. Michelle made Myra essential. She gave Steve Urkel something he'd never had, someone who saw his worth without requiring him to change. Through Myra, Michelle was telling a larger story about acceptance and seeing beyond surfaces. Off-screen, Michelle's love story was changing in unexpected ways. Her relationship with Malcolm-Jamal Warner ended romantically in 1994, but something rare happened afterward. Instead of the usual Hollywood fade-out, they stayed genuinely close. Real friends, not the kind who keep up appearances for interviews. Malcolm would later describe their shift as natural. The love didn't vanish, it just evolved. They still talked often, encouraged each other's work, and stayed part of each other's lives. It was the kind of friendship that challenges the idea that romance and deep connection can't coexist. Meanwhile, Michelle was strengthening her reputation on the Family Matters set. Castmates remembered her professionalism, warmth, and humor. Jaleel White later called her a little ray of sunshine, saying her smile never failed to brighten people's day. The character of Myra appeared in over 50 episodes between 1993 and 1998. She became a fan favorite, the girl who saw something special in Urkel before anyone else did. But this wasn't just about Steve Urkel. Michelle was showing audiences something about how to look at people, how to find value where others see oddity. August 1997 should have been just another summer for Michelle Thomas. She was 28, healthy and working steadily on one of television's most popular shows. She didn't smoke. She didn't drink. She followed a vegetarian lifestyle. By every measure, she was doing everything right. Then came the diagnosis, a cruel twist no one saw coming. Doctors found an intra-abdominal desmoplastic small round cell tumor, or DSRCT. They had to explain what it meant, because almost no one gets this cancer. It's rare, aggressive, and strikes young people who seem perfectly healthy. There was no reason, no cause, no warning. DSRCT doesn't follow any predictable pattern. There are no lifestyle factors to blame, no family history to trace. Michelle's healthy choices couldn't protect her from it. The randomness was the hardest part to accept. Her reaction revealed who she was. Instead of asking, "Why me?" she asked, "What now?" She approached her treatment with the same calm focus she brought to her work. She didn't hide her diagnosis from her Family Matters family, but she never let it take over her conversations or her spirit. The months that followed were brutal. Surgery, recovery, and the uncertainty of a disease with few treatment options. Still, Michelle worked whenever she could. Between hospital visits and rest, she found her way back to set, determined to keep at least one part of her life normal. Her colleagues later spoke about her strength with awe. She showed up, delivered her scenes flawlessly, and refused to let her illness become her identity. She made courage look effortless. During all of it, faith grounded her. Michelle practiced Islam quietly, without fanfare, but in those months it became her anchor. Prayer gave her peace. Her community surrounded her with love, and her belief that her life still had purpose, even in suffering, carried her through the storm. The cancer was aggressive, but Michelle's spirit proved equally fierce. She refused to be defined by her diagnosis. She was still Myra on screen, still Michelle to her friends, still the woman who could find beauty in unexpected places. The Young and the Restless represented everything Michelle had been working toward. In 1998, she was cast as Callie Rogers, a young singer navigating the adult world. Finally, at 30, she could play a woman instead of someone's girlfriend. The soap opera world moved differently from sitcoms. The pace was relentless. New episodes every day, pages of dialogue, and emotional scenes that had to feel real on cue. Michelle embraced the challenge. She was proving she could handle deeper material, showing that her talent reached far beyond the wholesome supporting roles audiences knew her for. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, watching his friend's evolution, noted how the role revealed sides of Michelle that television hadn't shown before. It finally got her to play a woman, he said later. There was sophistication in her performance, a maturity that earlier roles hadn't allowed her to explore. Between the demanding soap schedule and her ongoing treatment, Michelle was fighting on two fronts. Early that year, surgeons had removed a lemon-sized tumor from her abdomen. The surgery was major, the recovery long, but she returned to work as soon as she was able. Her Young and the Restless castmates didn't fully grasp the extent of her struggle. Michelle kept her illness private, arriving on set prepared and professional. She didn't want pity. She wanted to work, to prove she could rise above both typecasting and her diagnosis. The performance she gave wasn't only on screen. Every day she refused to let cancer define her public image was its own quiet act of strength. Every scene she finished while in pain was an act of will. She was writing her own story, one about persistence rather than surrender. By the fall of 1998, the cancer returned. A second tumor ruptured, and she underwent emergency surgery. This time, recovery was slower. The aggressive nature of DSRCT had become undeniable. Yet even then, Michelle found moments of peace. She regained enough strength to spend Thanksgiving with her family, a final holiday together that they all cherished. The Young and the Restless episodes featuring Michelle would air into early 1999, after her death. Her final professional work showed an actress hitting her stride, finally playing the adult roles she'd been ready for all along. The timing was heartbreaking. Just as she was expanding her range, time ran out. December 1998 arrived with the weight of inevitability. Michelle was back in the hospital, this time at Memorial Sloan Kettering in New York City. The cancer had progressed beyond what surgery could address. Family and friends began gathering, understanding what the doctors couldn't quite say. Malcolm-Jamal Warner received the call in Los Angeles. His friend, his former love, his constant companion through the years, was dying. He flew immediately to New York. Whatever they had been to each other, lovers, friends, something in between, he needed to be there. The hospital room was full of love. Michelle's parents maintained a constant vigil. Friends from her various shows visited. The Islamic community that had become part of her spiritual life provided prayers and presence. But when Malcolm arrived, something shifted in the room. They had developed their own language years earlier, during the Cosby days. Elephant juice. When mouthed silently, it looked exactly like, "I love you." It had been their private joke, their secret code, their way of saying something profound through something silly. Now, in a hospital room with machines beeping and family watching, it became something else. Michelle could barely speak by the time Malcolm arrived. But when she saw him, she mouthed the words one more time. "Elephant juice." He understood immediately and responded in kind. "Elephant juice." Years of shared history, transformed romance, and enduring friendship condensed into this moment. Malcolm would later share this story with the press, explaining their private language to the world. "That was always our thing," he said. The phrase that once seemed playful now carried the weight of a complete relationship, one that had evolved from romance to friendship without losing its essential love. December 23, 1998, Michelle Thomas died at age 30. She was surrounded by family, friends, and the love she had cultivated throughout her short life. The girl who had seen something special in Steve Urkel, who had brought warmth to every role, who had faced cancer with grace, was gone. Her parents honored her final wishes for an Islamic funeral service. On December 26th, she was laid to rest in Rosedale Cemetery in Orange, New Jersey. The entertainment industry mourned, but more importantly, the people who knew her mourned the loss of someone who had made kindness look easy. The funeral brought together all the worlds Michelle had touched. Family Matters cast members stood alongside Cosby Show alumni. The Muslim community that reflected her faith joined hands with colleagues from the entertainment industry. Each group knew a different side of Michelle, but they all shared the same truth: her ability to bring light wherever she went. Recognition came soon after. The NAACP honored her with a posthumous nomination for Outstanding Actress in a daytime drama series for her brief but powerful performance on The Young and the Restless. It was acknowledgement of what she was becoming, a mature, dramatic actress whose best work was still ahead of her. But Michelle's impact reached far beyond awards. Her Family Matters co-stars have spoken often about her kindness and professionalism. Jaleel White called her a little ray of sunshine who gave him some of his best on-screen moments, and Malcolm-Jamal Warner continues to honor their bond as proof that love can evolve without fading. Her characters continue to live on. Justine Phillips remains one of the most memorable parts of The Cosby Show's later years. Myra Monkhouse endures as the girl who saw Steve Urkel's worth before anyone else did. Callie Rogers showed a glimpse of the dramatic depth Michelle was ready to explore. Fans still keep her memory alive. Online tributes and clips of Myra and Steve keep circulating, with viewers praising how genuine she made that unlikely love story feel. Parents who grew up watching her now share those same moments with their own children, keeping her warmth alive across generations. Malcolm-Jamal Warner still shares their story occasionally, not for publicity, but as a tribute to lasting love. He's spoken about their private phrase, elephant juice, and how it meant "I love you" in the simplest, sweetest way. To this day, those two words carry the weight of a lifetime of connection. The cruelest part of Michelle's story is how senseless it feels. She never smoked, never drank, and lived a vegetarian lifestyle. Yet at 29, she was diagnosed with an aggressive, rare cancer, one that made no sense then and makes no sense now. Cancer didn't care about how well she lived her life. Yet Michelle's response to that cruelty might be her greatest performance. She faced her diagnosis with grace that friends still find remarkable. She worked through treatment. She maintained her professionalism. She kept her spirit intact even as her body failed. She showed that strength isn't about winning every battle. Sometimes it's about how you face the ones you'll lose. Michelle Thomas gave us just 30 years, but she filled them with something rare. She showed us that seeing the best in people isn't naive. It's generous. That maintaining friendship after romance isn't impossible. It's mature. That facing death with grace isn't superhuman. It's a choice. She played the girl who loved Steve Urkel, but she was really teaching us about the courage it takes to love what others overlook. In her brief time, she demonstrated that finding beauty in unexpected places might be the most important thing any of us can do. The entertainment industry has produced bigger stars and longer careers, but few have left behind such a pure example of how to live with genuine warmth. Michelle saw something special because she was something special, and 30 years was enough time to prove it.